Okay, folks, thank you for your patience. I'm running the PA, the music, and the live stream. First thing first to know, we do not own any of the rights of any music being played in the background during tonight's event. So hopefully YouTube, that covers them and they won't take us off the air to do that. Also, I must apologize if our feed is a little laggy. I could not get good Wi-Fi here, so I'm having to go off the cellular signal, so hopefully it holds up for us. Tonight's matchup is between our Clemson Tigers and the Georgia Southern Eagles. And we're about ready to get going here. So it looks at center. It looks like we got Nina Molina at center, Alyssa Lorino on left, Olivia Yoder on right, Kate Butler, and I believe that's Athena Renton on D. So power line to start us out here. Puck's down on the sidewall. Lorino brings it over. Puck's in now. Molina's got it. She's going to get a quick shot off net. And Molina already scored a goal. So we need to play the Tiger Rag. So what a quick goal by Nina Molina and crew. Give me a chance, folks, to settle in a little bit. It's been a little bit of a nerve-wracking, a lot of things going on. So already we have the first goal. And puck immediately over to Lorino. Lorino shoots just high over the goalie. Puck down low. Olivia Yoder on it. Yoder over to Lorino. Lorino finds Molina. Molina drops it now quickly to Butler. Butler now in to Yoder and down behind the net. Yoder forechecks. Yoder regathers. Back to Lorino. Lorino now dances. Gets a little tied up by the defense. Oh, puck right back out front. Dangerous one there. Yoder regathers in the corner. Olivia Yoder now. Kate Butler calling for it. It just skips over Butler's stick, and the puck's going to go down, but not quite enough for an icing. Margot Watkins now on. Margot takes the puck. Margot's going to go for a skate. Margot drops it to Yoder. Yoder now along the left boards. Yoder now in the slot right across to Watkins. Doesn't quite get there, and just misses Lucy Hudson. Lucy Hudson now on puck. Lucy's got puck. She brings it back up to Lorino. Lorino now. Lorino in. Lorino's going to look. Lorino's going to shoot, and Lorino is going to score. And we play the Tiger Rag once again in the stadium. So 2-0, Clemson Tigers with a little over a minute 30 into the game. All right. Face off now back at center. 2-0 Tigers. Watkins on the draw. Watkins starts to win it over. Back to Hudson on D. Hudson now up the boards. Hudson to Wozniak. Wozniak over to Watkins. Now Caputo. Now Hudson takes it in. Hudson takes it in. Hudson with a quick shot. Hudson brings it in low. We have pass back to Avery Pettit. Avery Pettit's going to wind shoot. Traffic in front. Caputo's there. And the Georgia Southern goal recovers. So they think they put a goal up on the board. I don't think that counts. I think it's still 2-0 here. Just trying to move it. She did. I think she thought it went in. It did not. Watkins now in the draw. Far dot. Watkins brings it over to Wozniak. Wozniak back to Pettit. Pettit now down low to Wozniak. Wozniak with a quick shot. Caputo's in front, causing trouble. Watkins now. Bunch of pile up in the crease and covered by the Georgia Southern goaltender. Georgia Southern has 2 goalies, so I'm not exactly sure which one is in net right now. If I can get a number, I'll let you know. Watkins now on the draw. She's got Lucy Hudson back on her left and Avery Pettit on her right. Puck comes clean back to Pettit. Pettit now on the point. Pettit with a little shot. Pass to Watkins in the middle. Watkins in the slot battles. Watkins got it. Brings it over to Caputo. Caputo just misses. Puck's now tried to dump out, but goes right to Avery Pettit on the point. Pettit throws one in from the point, looking for a shot tip from Caputo. And Watkins now with the puck. Watkins now below the line. Watkins dances, looks up, tries to turn, turns right in a Georgia Southern player. Georgia Southern player tries to dump it out and finally does after 3 attempts. Icing's waved off. Lucy Hudson now back behind the net. Hudson looks up for Caputo. It's picked off by Georgia Southern though, but Georgia Southern player goes down. It was a good effort though. Good chance for Georgia Southern there. Puck comes around. Caputo with it. Caputo across to Wozniak. The Woz is on the break. Oh, gets broken up, but then picking that up is... Not quite sure who that is. I got to figure that out. 25. That would be loose puck. It's a loose puck. It was a shot in by Kate Butler, and it was jammed in by, I'm not quite sure if that was Caputo, but it seems like she's coming across the line first, so I believe that was Courtney Caputo with the jam in. Goalie thought they had it. It was right behind him. Caputo jumped on it and pounded it in. Oh, I missed the Tiger rag that time. I got to get better at that. Okay. Face off at center. This is Keira Alyssa at center. Keira, this is the first time I've seen Keira here. So she's a water skier on the water ski team. Hasn't been able to make any games yet, but here she is, first time. So puck back to Alyssa. Alyssa shoots, scores right over the top of the goalie. Play our Tiger rag again. This is going to get old. So that is a... All right. Face off back to center now. Alyssa on the puck. Alessi's got fire over it off to her right. Georgia Southern tries to dump it in. Blocked by Mr. Magoo, though, on the blue line. Georgia Southern does have it in there for a second. Fire over it, dumps it in, and Georgia Southern regroups. Georgia Southern brings it across. Try to get a shot in on net. Does not get through. Kate Butler now. Actually, sorry, that was Lorino. Back on D, I guess. Lorino now steps up. Lorino blocks it. Fire over it over there. Covered up by Watkins. Watkins tries to bring it back over to Fire over, but she's on her way to a change. Abby Bauer now over to Kate Butler. Butler now comes from the point, brings it in, hits it off the ref, but Clemson regains in the corner. Olivia Yoder now. Butler now dumps it. Oh my gosh. Butler dumped it off the end boards to Melina, but Melina, instead of shooting, did not pound that one, and I thought for sure that was a Melina goal. Melina back on the point now, covering for a D who went in. Puck down in the corner. Puck across, soft shot towards goal. Lorino goes down. Georgia Southern on the near boards. Georgia Southern does get it out. Coming back for it is Athena Renton. Athena now with the puck. Athena looks up, surveys, pass off the boards over to Lorino. Lorino tries a quick move. Broken up by Georgia Southern now. Right back to the Tigers. Kate Butler now tries to skate it through. Doesn't quite, but now Lorino has it. Lorino now across the blue. Oh, that's offside. I think Yoder and Melina were both off. So, offside call by Mike Carr, the ref. Mike and Olivia. Olivia actually refs in town, so Mike knows her quite well, and a little joke there. Joking around, I believe. So we have a 3 or 4-0 lead. The board on the here has 3-0. We have 4-0 on the feed. Frankly, it's been such a whirlwind, I'm not even sure. Caputo now has it. Caputo in the slot, rips a shot, scooped up by the Georgia Southern goalie. Oh, it is 4-0 now, according to both clocks. So 4-0 Tigers lead with 14:53 to go in the first. You know, the Tigers really jumped off to a great start here. Wearing their whites, the first time they got into wear their whites, and they look sharp, that's for sure. On the draw, Margot Watkins brings it back, just kept in by Lucy Hudson. Lucy gets to Courtney Caputo. Courtney Caputo with the shot and scores. So that'll be a 5-0 lead for the Tigers. A quick one. Caputo's dancing to the rag that the sound man up here is playing. It's going to get a little old for the Georgia Southern girls. All right, so we have I believe that'll be a 5-0 lead for the Clemson Tigers. I think that's Caputo's second goal of the game. Puck comes back to Avery Pettit. Avery now. Avery surveys. Avery's going to go for a skate. Gets tied up, but she makes it through. Avery now's going to look up. Avery's going to shoot. Good shot on goal. Good save. Caputo now down low. Caputo now down low. She's surveying. She's looking for someone. Quick little pass move. I tell you, the Tigers, if there's anything that they're pretty good at, they move the puck so well as a team. Puck now comes back to Avery Pettit. Pettit now across the far boards, hits the Woz. Wozniak now skates it in. Wozniak coughs it up to the Georgia Southern. Georgia Southern now back up the boards, but stepping in on it is Avery Pettit. Doesn't quite get there. Margot Watkins now fights for it. Kept in now by Watkins. Watkins is now going to survey. Watkins has space. She's going to dump it to Lucy Hudson on the point. Lucy now surveys. Lucy with a shot, looking for the tip play. Just not quite enough on that to get a good tip. Back again. Whoa, tried to get through to Lucy, and it came back out to the slot. And we have a shot by Margot Watkins and a save by the Georgia Southern netminder. So Georgia Southern, this is their, I believe, third year in college hockey south, maybe just second. But it's always a struggle for a small school down in Savannah to field a big enough team. They actually have girls that play from multiple institutions down in that area, including SCAD, which is a arts type based college down there, and some others as well. So, but they keep on coming back every year and getting going, so good to them. All right, pass back, ends up back to Butler. Butler now fires, looking for the Fire-Ovid tip. Fire-Ovid misses it. Puck now. Alyssa now. Oh, Alyssa loses it. Alyssa now surveys. Everyone's offside, so it's got to come back to Renton. Renton now to Fire-Ovid. Fire-Ovid's over the board, over the corner. Fire-Ovid now with the shot towards the net. Gets deflected. Butler now keeps it in. Back behind the net. Fire-Ovid's got to get on her horse and get there. She's got time. She's a little stick check, plays a little physical, and ties her up. Keira Alessi comes in and grabs the puck. Alessi now looking up. Alessi back over to Fire-Ovid to Abby Bauer. Bauer now behind the net. Puck in the near corner. Puck up. And Georgia Southern had an opportunity there, but handling there, and it comes all the way back for Kate Butler, who reverses, hits the brakes, and does a little Tom Cruise and hits the brakes and let him fly right by. Pass on up to Yoder, but just misses. And we are going to have, no, they waved off the icing because we beat the icing by Keira Alessi, who beats the icing. Puck to Abby Bauer. Abby Bauer with the shot on net. Goaltender struggles, but they get the early whistle. So with 12:24 to go in the first, Tigers up 5-0. All right, face-off now. Setting up is Molina. Molina's got Lorino back to her left flank. And puck comes back to Yoder. Yoder back to Pettit. Pettit dumps it low. Pettit dumps it back down into the corner for Lorino. Lorino tries for Molina, skips over Molina's stick, but Yoder picks it up in the far corner. Yoder surveys. Yoder reverses up the boards. These three can cycle like crazy, folks. And wow, that was a beautiful shot by Yoder, but it just missed. I thought it went in for a second. Lorino now. Lorino dances. Lorino's going to look up. She's going to look for that great pass, trying to hit Molina down in the middle, in the slot. Molina now has it. Molina's going to dance. Back to Lorino. And back to Molina once again. Shot by Yoder. Good save by the goalie. Yoder now to Lorino. Lorino tries to bring it back out front. Oh, little good stuff, but then a goal scored by Nina Molina. It looks like, I think they're calling a goal, but now they're sending both the two players off the ice. So we have our first penalties. I don't know if we had a goal and penalties, or they just called the penalties before the goal went in, maybe. I'm waiting to see. But going in the box is Alyssa Lorino. So it doesn't appear, it appears he's waving the goal off, but the faceoff is back to center. So I'm not sure what's going on. We'll let the officials sort this out, and I'll see what goes up on the scoreboard here. It looks like we got a 4-on-4, which is kind of odd. Normally, with coincidentals, it's 5-on-5, but we're playing ACHA rules in kind of a different league than we're used to, so it looks like it's a 4-on-4. So, and no goals going on the ice on the score clock. So, Hudson now with the puck. Hudson takes it in, number 17. Shot on net, covered by the goaltender. I can tell you it gets more dangerous with less players on the ice for the Tigers. If they can get a 4-on-4, they will gladly take that, because They're just so skilled. So Watkins now on the draw. Hudson steps in from the left D to the left wing from her. Watson wins it back. Watson to Pettit. Pettit with the shot. Oh, great tip play by Wozniak. Almost makes it on goal. Just not quite. Wozniak battles down low. Wozniak fighting for it. Hudson steps up. Hudson and Wozniak bump into each other, but back to Hudson. Hudson's going to fire this, and that corner of the net was wide open for Hudson to finish that. So Hudson finishes like that. The goalie was pretty far off angle there, and Hudson saw that whole side of the net was wide open. Okay, so that'll be 6-0, folks, with 11 to go in the first. I wouldn't be surprised if they go to run clock pretty early in this one. It's just pretty lopsided. Watkins now wins a draw. Watkins now skates it in. Watkins is going to go in. And good save by the goaltender. Wozniak's now trying to feed it in. And oh my gosh, it does go in after a bunch of struggles. I guess the Woz finished that one off, so we'll play the rag again. Nope, wrong song. My bad. All right. I'm trying to run the music while running the live feed, and it's a little bit challenging. All right, puck comes back to Pettit. Pettit now with the puck. Pettit brings it up to Watkins. Watkins now off the boards, clips it up to Caputo. Caputo now on the far boards, dumps it down deep. Kind of a soft forecheck now by our Tigers. The puck comes back up to Hudson. Hudson dumps it down low. Looking for Wozniak. Wozniak's not going to get on puck down low. Georgia Southern players go down. Wozniak with the pass across to Watkins, right across the goal mouth. Watkins down low, looking for Hudson in the slot. Hudson had a Georgia Southern player all over. Back to Watkins. Watkins now over to Pettit. Pettit back to Watkins. Watkins now is going to look. He's got Wozniak set up, and the puck just comes out, and the Tigers have to tag up. Georgia Southern now has it. Oh, stepped up on it is the Woz. Wozniak shoots. Goaltender reaches out, makes a good save on Watkins. Watkins now surveys, finds Pettit on the blue line. Pettit now, no look pass to Watkins, off the boards. Watkins now behind the net to Wozniak, sorry. Wozniak up to Hudson. Hudson on the near boards. Hudson across, finding Watkins. Watkins back to Pettit. Pettit steps in. Pettit looks, surveys, looks for the shot, and great glove save by the Georgia Southern netminder. She came way outside the blue paint, took away the angle. That was a very good play and good angling by the goaltender from Georgia Southern. So it's 8-0 in the first already with 9:24 to go. So at the draw now is Keira Alyssa, I believe, with fire over it off to her right. Puck comes back, won by the Tigers, dumped back in by Athena Renton. Renton to Bauer. Bauer now down low. Bauer fights for it along the boards. Southern tries to bring it up the boards, and they successfully do. It's a tip, so there will be no ice. Back to get it is Kate Butler. Butler now behind Bella Quick. Butler out, hits an edge or something, but does resurface, tries to hit Jenna Fireovid with the pass. Fireovid was not ready for it. It's a little outside from her, and this will be our first icing of the game for our Clemson Tigers. We're always looking for sponsors, so if you're down in Clemson land and you have an ice cream shop or some type of ice shop or something cold and you want to sponsor, and you can have every icing that I say can be sponsored by your ice cream shop. So reach out, clemsonwhockey@gmail.com if you'd like to sponsor. Face-off actually won by Georgia Southern, but it looks like it's going to come. Nope, kept in by Georgia Southern. Good keep in by them. Keira Alyssa now behind the net with the puck. Surveys, looks over to Butler, I believe. Looking for Fireovid. Stick check by the Georgia Southern player. Puck comes back at the Fireovid. Fireovid's going to shoot one across on net. I guess we'll call that a shot. It was a bit of a waffler. I think she was hoping to get to Bauer on the back door, but just kind of threw one down towards net. So our Tigers, it's hard to stay in the game, invested in the game when it's this lopsided this early, but I presume Coach Duba is going to start working on some other things with them use this almost as a practice session in a bit here. So Melina on the draw. Melina wins the draw, brings it back to Pettit. Pettit now, she's going to fire. Slapper, deflected up and over the net by the Georgia Southern netminder. The Tigers do have a few girls that can really fire the puck from the point. Avery Pettit's one of them. Athena Renton's got a missile back there too, and when Caputo's playing D, she's got one too. So they've got some cannons back there on the blue line. Face off now, won by Georgia Southern. Georgia Southern up the boards. Georgia Southern tries to break out. They do. Lucy Hudson now puck. Lucy Hudson reverses it. Puck goes across to Alyssa Lorino. Lorino with a backhander. Good save by the goalie. We have someone in the net. That would be Olivia Yoder hanging out inside the net, but is back out of it. Avery Pettit now up down the boards. Yoder goes across. Yoder rubs a little body on her. And Lorino now, looking for the quick little backhand. Just misses high. Puck now rimmed up the boards towards Avery Pettit. Avery steps up. Tigers really looking to set things up here. Make some pretty plays. Pass comes across. Another save by the goalie. It's just bouncing all over in there. I feel for this goalie. She's going to see a lot of rubber tonight. She's already seen a lot. Melina now with the puck. Melina surveys. Behind the back pass to Yoder on the far boards. Yoder looking back for Melina. A little bit of a misfire pass there. Georgia Southern tries to break out. Avery Pettit steps up. Keeps it in. Georgia Southern player rubs Olivia Yoder a little bit. He's going to freeze it right over to Yoder. Yoder finally comes out with it. A little bump and run there. Hudson now on the blue line. Hudson's going to, I thought she was going to fire, but she goes back to Lorino. Lorino's just going to fire one. Blocker save. It comes back to Lorino in the slot. Lorino dances. Lorino looks up. Surveys. Looking for Hudson. But good play by Georgia Southern's Bella Dill. Bella hustles on that puck and gets it out of the zone, but can't quite get through the strong defense of the Tigers. Avery Pettit now takes it in. Pettit now with the shot. Just a bit outside. Over to Wozniak. Wozniak down in the far corner. Puck comes over to Georgia Southern. They try to break out, and they do get it out. Back on puck is Courtney Caputo. Courtney with the pass across to Katie Wozniak. Wozniak and Caputo go in. Wozniak takes a shot. Glove save by goaltender Georgia Southern. Still looking to get a number on the back of the goalie's jersey. If that's number 12, it's Sierra Nudefer. If it is number 0, it's Ava Carlson. So I'm not quite sure. I'm guessing that's Sierra, but I'm not 100% sure. Face off now in Georgia Southern zone. Keira Alyssa at the point. Number 16 brings it back. 25 Butler. Butler over to Pettit. Or is that Renton? That might be Renton. Yep, Renton, sorry. Renton in the corner. Over to the Wozniak. Renton now surveys. Renton's going to look up high. She's got a point wide open. Ooh, pass over to Butler. Gets picked off, but Renton circles back. Butler comes across and keeps it in. Watkins now has it. Watkins now to Wozniak. Wozniak over to Caputo. Caputo tries to force the 5-hole. It does not. The goalie comes out and makes the save, but then the puck pops up over the goalie stick, over their back, and drops in the goal. So that would be a goal by, I believe, Courtney Caputo or Katie Wozniak. I can't, a little lost with that. So we're up, I guess, 9-0 now. Tigers still not even out of the first period. So I wouldn't be surprised if they do some run clock stuff here. This is Georgia Southern's first game of the season. Our Tigers have already had 4 games. Also, Georgia Southern has not had ice to practice yet down in Savannah either, as the ice just now went in. Puck now bounces up in front of Bella Quick. Bella, I don't think, has had to make a save yet. Puck comes up to Caputo. Caputo skates on the near boards. Sorry, you can't see the near boards right under me very well with the camera angle, but I can at least call it. On puck is Kate Butler. Kept in by Margot Watkins. Watkins now has Caputo. Oh, Caputo just mishandles. Caputo behind the net, looking for Watkins. Watkins is going to hit Butler. Butler with a little slap pass thing. That's not quite enough on it. And Georgia Southern gets the puck out of the zone. Butler now on puck. Butler over to Renton. Renton battles. Gets it up to Caputo. Caputo now skates in. Caputo surveys, over to Watkins, or Wozniak, sorry. Wozniak to Alessi. Alessi back to Hudson. Hudson's going to keep it in, though. It just loses it for a second. Back to Wozniak. Wozniak across, looking for Caputo. Caputo will get there first. Caputo back up to Renton. Renton with a shot. Harden on the ice. Good save by goaltender. Newbarrow, I believe. Puck now in the corner. Up high, right to the slot. Alessi with it. Alessi drops it back to Hudson. Hudson coming in from the point. Little backhander on net. Wozniak, actually Alessi will get that. Alessi looks up. Alessi hits Wozniak. Wozniak looks at Renton. Renton's covered. So Wozniak's just going to skate in. No one's on her. Oh, puck off the goalie. Juicy rebound. Back into the corner. Alessi regathers. Alessi looking. Alessi's looking. Renton really wants to grind one up. She's calling for it. Hudson now. Hudson skates in from the point. Hudson now with the shot. Saved by Georgia Southern netminder. Wozniak in the corner. Wozniak has Caputo out front. Not a lot of pressure anymore on Wozniak, so she's just going to come up high to Hudson. Hudson on the point. Hudson dances. Hudson skates it in. Hudson's going to fire, but it's going to get blocked into the corner. 14 of Georgia Southern goes after it. Dumps up the boards, but cannot get through. Watkins. Back to Renton. Renton over to Hudson. Hudson off her foot. Sets it up right onto her stick. Down low to Caputo. Caputo now in the slot. Finds Alessi. Alessi now drops it back for Renton. Renton's been wanting one. Renton winds up. A missile. Good save by goalie, but the goalie loses it. Luckily, this one does not fall behind her. And now we will be dumping one out. It is not an icing. Referee's calling a tip. So back to get it is Athena Renton. She may just go for a skate here. I can tell that she's just jonesing to go. Oh, and her Georgia Southern player goes down. Renton comes in. Renton dances. Renton scores. Renton coast to coast. You could just see she was getting antsy for one. So now Athena Renton's got her goal. And I believe that will make it 10-0 in the first with 2:30 to go. It will. So your live feed's a second behind with the scoring, but it's a 10-0 lead for your Clemson Tigers. I've decided to stop playing the ragtime goal scoring song, being up 10-0. Just don't want to rub it in. So Alessi now at the center. Alessi's actually on the Clemson water skiing team. So this is her first game actually on the ice with the Tigers this season. She's been so busy doing the water skiing thing. We also have Courtney, Caputo, and our goalie Bella Quick are on the rugby team, the club rugby team. So we got a couple multi-sporters out there. Puck comes up to Fireovid. Fireovid leaves it. Watkins with the shot, just over the net. Puck comes up the boards. Stepping into it is Yoder. Yoder tries to jam one into Fireovid. Just doesn't quite. Abby Bauer now on the puck. Bauer now looks up. Bauer's looking for Fireovid. Fireovid with a backhand tip on net. Doesn't quite have enough on it. Alessi now throws one. Gets blocked by the Georgia Southern player. Because he goes down. Back to Alessi. Alessi tries and hits the iron. Puck back to Fireovid. Fireovid has a chance to look up. She's going to make a pass. Good pass to Alessi. Alessi gets run in from behind. That's all fair. And the Georgia Southern player tries to carry it out. Fireovid drops it back now. And Yoder now at the puck. Yoder over to Hudson. Hudson now on the near boards. Hudson dances all the way from D into the corner. Hudson now across the middle looking for Lorino. That was a juicy one. Olivia Yoder will pick it up on the blue line. Yoder dumps it down low. Abby Bauer on puck. Bauer looking in the low slot. She's got a player right there. And we have another goal. That was a great pass by Abby Bauer, finding Lorino sitting right in the low slot, right on the crease. Lorino pounds it in. And we're at 11-0 already. It's a lot of hockey to go still. Now, the Tigers have had some pretty substantial leads in Tennessee and then had a pretty good one to finish in Georgia, but this one is out of hand a lot even earlier. So really good passing, really good puck movement. This Tigers team is just going to keep getting stronger and stronger. But they do have some more experienced opponents ahead of them in this season. So, but a very pleasant surprise. The players in a first-year team have been able to pick up. Lorino now with the puck. Lorino dances on the near boards. Lorino looks up, hits Melina. Melina cycles it back to Lorino on the boards. Lorino now. She's going to come up high on the boards to Renton. Renton looks. Renton throws one. Stick check by Melina, allowing Lorino to skate on. Puck comes back out to Butler. Renton now drives it in. Off Melina. Georgia Southern now just happy to dump it out. They say no icing. No, they do. No, they don't. One ref had his arm up, one didn't. Puck's now behind the net. Breaking out. Puck right to Lorino. Lorino in full gap. She's got Avery Pettit on her right. Looks like coach might be moving some players around a bit, because Avery Pettit's normally on D. Renton now on the point. Renton over to Butler. Butler throws one, tries to get through for Pettit. Pettit sticks lifted, and Georgia Southern does clear. Arms up for icing, but it's not going to get there. Butler now. Butler up the boards. Pulled off out of the air by Melina. Melina now looks. Melina's got, Pettit was breaking, but couldn't quite get to her. So that's going to do it for one, folks. Here in Clemson's home rink in the Pavilion in Taylor, South Carolina. The rink is about a 45-minute to an hour drive, depending on the time of day, from Clemson. So there's nothing closer really in Clemson. So we practice here at the Pavilion, which is a county-run facility in Greenville County, actually in Taylor's. So a little bit about our Tigers. So far, we have an undefeated record of 4-0. We have 3 wins against the University of Tennessee and 1 win against University of Georgia Bulldogs. The amazing stat here is the Clemson Tigers in those 4 games have a plus 45 goal differential. So this team has no problem scoring goals and is darn good at defending them as well. So pretty miraculous. Looking forward though on the schedule, there's some more games coming up. UGA comes to town again. USC, that'll be a good battle on the 24th, comes to town. Then we go to Tampa to the Gasparilla event, January 30th through February 1st. That one, opponents to be determined, but we're hoping that we get seeded against some of the top teams in College Hockey South, like Alabama. Tampa, probably the number one to look out for. USF, there's some good ones down there. So should be some more stout competition coming our way. And then with USC, we go to USC on the 21st of February down in Columbia. That's going to be a good one. There's going to be a rivalry that's built there. That's going to be good. And then College Hockey South playoffs are the 27th of February through March 1st. They're in Florida somewhere. I can't remember exactly where. It's if applicable, if our Tigers make that cut. Everything says that I can see right now is that should not be a problem, and they should be playing in College Hockey South playoffs, hopefully for their first banner. So that's what's coming up for our Tigers. A little bit about the Tigers. The Clemson Women's Club Ice Hockey is an individual student-run organization that runs with oversight from the university. The team receives some financial contribution from Clemson. The rest is made up by dues, donations, and sponsorships. The team's mission is to provide a safe, fun, and competitive environment for female athletes, fosters hockey development in a team and individual setting while promoting sportsmanship, respect, and work ethic. So here we go. We're about to start the second period. Just realized I forgot to play music during the period break. Try to get it together here. It's late. So they play the Georgia Southern Eagles again tomorrow morning at 9:15 here. It's the Pink at the Rink event to support breast cancer awareness. So you'll see a lot of pink tape out here. And we'll be playing a lot of Pink Pony Girl as that starts up tomorrow. All right, so here we are starting off the second. It's already a 10-0 win for your Tigers, or 10-0, not win yet, but 10-0 lead for our Tigers. Margot Watkins at center. She's got Wozniak on her right, Caputo on her left, Hudson and Yoder on D. So Coach Duba is moving people around. She's got Yoder back on D, which actually I think is her natural position. She just hasn't played it yet with us much. Georgia Southern's Bella Dill breaks it up and gives a little bit pressure on Olivia Yoder. Olivia wipes out. Whoa, that was a spectacular wipeout. Dill tries to feed it back up to a player of hers, but does not. Yoder gets up a little gingerly. Let's hope the Yoder's okay. Caputo now across to Wozniak. Watkins now has it. Yoder's kind of hunched over a little bit. Hopefully the Yoder's all right. Yoder now comes in from the point and now comes back. Puck down low with Watkins. Georgia Southern now tries to break it out, but Yoder comes and gets it. Yoder's got someone on the far post area. That'd be the Caputo. Caputo brings it back. Oh, that was a sloppy mess, but that's okay. Puck gets cleared. Yoder gingerly skates back. Yoder, I hope she's okay. There's no reason to hurt. Oh, Yoder just stick lifts, throws the Georgia Southern player over. Up to Wozniak. Wozniak up to the point. Georgia Southern player steps up. They might have a chance here to get a shot. You know, if Georgia Southern can just get some pucks to the net, they have a shot to get a little pressure here. So puck comes out. Keira Alyssa now on the puck. Keira now over the blue line. She's got Wozniak slowly on her right. Keira with the shot on net. Goalie steps up. Weird thing, the goalie's like stuck back there and kind of can't get it with her stick, but it finally does. It looks like we have a goalie change. So I'm guessing, if I had to guess, that this is Ava Carlson, number 0 in net for Georgia Southern. Keira Alyssa, number 16, will be taking the draw here with Fireovid off to her right and Bauer off to her left. Hudson and Butler on deep. Alyssa now brings it back, kept in by Renton. Renton now to Butler. Butler down low to Fireovid. Fireovid now has a chance. Fireovid's going to skate behind the net. Fireovid's going to look up, gets it stripped off, over to Bauer. Renton now steps up. Puck's now in the corner. Georgia Southern now behind the net. Brings it up. Fireovid goes down. So does the Georgia Southern player. Butler now with it. Butler across over to, tries to feed Abby Bauer. Just hops Bauer's stick. Bauer now, far corner. Bauer's going to bring it up, back up to Alyssa. Alyssa now looking back. They've got Renton covered on the point, but there's no real covering Renton. So Renton can get open quite easily. Butler now. Butler's going to fire one across. Looking, saved by the goalie. Bauer keeps pounding on it. Goalie keeps the pad out. He keeps it out of the net. Puck now to Butler. Butler now fires. Good paddle save by the goalie. Puck goes in the far corner. Puck comes up back up to Renton. Renton's going to make some space. Good save by the goalie. Hits her right up high in the shoulder and keeps it out. Tigers still hold it in the zone. Alyssa now dumps it in deep. Alyssa for Bauer down deep. Bauer's now down low. Bauer kind of brings it back up to Renton. Renton brings it across. Fireovid's sitting there in the slot. Fireovid wants one there. Hopefully she finds her. Nope, back up to Alyssa. Alyssa in the higher slot. Alyssa keeps it in. Alyssa looking back for Renton. And then she comes across to Butler. Butler steps in. Butler now with the shot. Misses just high right. Bauer battles. Georgia Southern now skates it out the puck. Good play by Georgia Southern to skate it out. Number 17 for Georgia Southern. That is Lily Manderfield. Tries to get it in. Can't quite yet. Puck now behind the net for Georgia Southern. Trying to break out. Picked off by Keira. Alyssa. Alyssa now to Fireovid. Fireovid chip play to Bauer. Just misses Bauer. Puck now dumped out by Georgia Southern. Regained by Butler. Butler to Yoder. Keep an eye on Yoder from her spill earlier. She seems okay now though. Pass back to Butler. Tigers are in a change and they're offside. That was some sloppy bench work by our Tigers. It's kind of tricky at the pavilion. The blue lines are pretty close here. It's kind of a shorter rink, so the neutral zone is super small. So when you're on that second period, you can't like be changing in the zone like you would on most rinks. So we had two players offside really on that. Face off now, near dot. Avery Pettit on the right wing now. Over to Lorino. Lorino goes in. Lorino 1-on-5. Lorino looking up. Lorino surveys. Lorino, good pass to Molina. Molina now slows it down, settles it up. Molina now she gets it stripped by the Georgia Southern player. Georgia Southern tries to get out of the zone, but does not. Kept in by Hudson. Hudson to Pettit, over to Lorino. Lorino, little backhander on net, and goalie will cover. Smart play by Georgia Southern just to go ahead and let your goalie cover that one. Especially with the very dangerous Molina-Lorino combo platter out there for the Tigers. Hockey's an expensive sport, folks, so if Tigers are always looking for some sponsors, so if you have a company that's going to sponsor these Lady Tigers, let us know. Send an email to clemsonwhockey@gmail.com. We'd love the sponsorship. We'll also be happy to take any donations. The school does provide some funding, but not a lot. All the other funding is paid by these players and these players' families, so all help is definitely worth it. Yoder now, down low, brings it up to Pettit. Pettit on the right wing. To my knowledge, Pettit is really a defenseman, so having Pettit up on the wing is definitely a note that they're shaking stuff up with players. Puck bounces high, up off of Pettit, it appears, but off high enough that the goal doesn't count. I believe they're calling a high stick or goal interference or something. So the puck will come out of Georgia Southern zone. So we're at 10-0. It says 11 on your scoreboard. I think it's 10. It might be 11. I think it's 10. We're at 10-0. 13:08 to go in the second. Either that or they're not putting the score up anymore. So it doesn't really matter. So Lorino now. Lorino comes in, almost offside, but not. Pettit just held up. Lorino now behind the net. She surveys. She's got Yoder on the point. She's going to come across to Molina. Molina now looks up. Molina now back over to Lorino. Lorino's now going to fire it and score. Lorino with the great shot over the blocker side of the Georgia Southern netminder. The chemistry that these Tigers have after only having a couple practices and a few games is just unbelievable. Specifically the Lorino-Molina chemistry. They're good friends and they just know where each other is at all times. It's amazing. I don't know that they've ever played together before here, but they are both, I believe, from New Jersey. So maybe they played against each other at some point. Okay, Watkins now with the puck. Watkins wins it. Georgia Southern player goes down. Puck back up to Pettit. Pettit on the point. Pettit looking for Wozniak. Just skips Wozniak's stick. Wozniak heading to the goal, looking across to Caputo. Caputo, Wozniak, they're setting up from behind the net. They're looking up. Puck back high to Pettit. Pettit now over to Watkins. Watkins now steps in. Time. Looks up to Wozniak behind the net. Wozniak to Caputo, the far boards. Caputo now surveys, shields, and looks up. Caputo now with the shot pass to Wozniak. Wozniak now from the corner, looking for Watkins. Watkins now. Watkins is going to come back up high to Pettit on the blue line. Pettit now down low to Wozniak. And Georgia Southern now finally gets her hands on it. Tries to dump it out right up to Lucy Hudson though. Hudson now shields. Hudson tries to dump it down low, but does not. Picked up by Georgia Southern. A missed opportunity pass from a breakout for Georgia Southern, and your Tigers will recoup. Pettit now skates. Pettit with their head up. Pettit does a little play around Georgia Southern player. Pettit now skates in. Oh, a hit! We have a hit, folks. Georgia Southern player lays Pettit into the boards, and they're going to call her for a hit. I wish they would just let this go at this point, but they're going to call her for a hit. So it was a good little rub. I don't know. I'll let the girls play at this point. I don't think the Clemson Tigers were upset at all that the little hit was laid. Maybe some frustration from Georgia Southern. I don't know. I wouldn't want to get into a hitting game either, though, with the Clemson Tigers. I haven't seen it yet, but I imagine some of these girls have played some pretty physical hockey in their day. So, face-off in the Georgia Southern zone. Watkins lining up with Wozniak to her right, Caputo to her left, Butler and Renton on D. Puck comes back up high to Butler. Butler surveys. Butler creates space, goes D to D to Renton. Renton now D to D back to Butler. Butler now down low to Wozniak. Woz looks up. Hope she doesn't mind me calling Woz. I just termed her that. Back over to Kate. Butler and puck on the goalie. The goalie covers. It looks like they switched back to their other goalie, Sierra Nudhofer. I'm not sure I'm pronouncing that right, but it looks like they've switched back goalies here in the second. So they've kind of gone back and forth, I believe, a couple times. Pass, puck back to Butler. Renton to Butler. Butler down low to Wozniak. Wozniak back up to Watkins. Watkins has Caputo. She's like Caputo's far side if Wozniak wants to find her. I think the Tigers are just trying to set some puck movement up here. Kind of not really firing a lot with the 11. Oh my gosh, what a pass over to Wozniak, back over to Wozniak. Wozniak now looks up, brings it back up to Butler. Butler now stepping in. Butler off boards to Caputo. Caputo back to Butler. Butler down low to Watkins. Watkins now behind the net. Watkins now goes for a skate, finds Renton high. I don't think you can take Renton with the slapper. Hits the goalie. Goalie just like froze there. A chance for, looked like Caputo, but did not go in. I don't think you can just tell Athena Renton not to shoot. Athena just loves to fire that thing, so it's quite obvious the Tigers are just working on some passing stuff now and trying not to embarrass the Georgia Southern Eagles too much. However, sometimes the passing, the keep away stuff can be just as embarrassing. It's a hard thing to coach when things get so lopsided. Fireoven now jumps on the ice in the middle of the shift. Fireoven now going in, looking for Caputo. Caputo now drops it to Butler. Butler now in for, comes back over to Butler. Butler now to Fireoven. Fireoven mishandles on the blue line, but Fireoven's got a forecheck on this. Fireoven on puck. Fireoven gets there kind of slowly. Puck back up over to Butler. Butler steps up, keeps it in. Renton now goes in. Renton surveys. Renton now looks up front. She's got Fireoven there. I just don't think they just are not wanting to fire the puck. Renton now looks. Renton looks backdoor. Pass comes across, bounces off some people, goes back to Alyssa. Alyssa back to Renton. Renton looking backdoor. Renton fires Fireoven right there. A good chance for a tip there. Puck back up to Renton. And puck comes out of the zone. We're at 6:48 to go in the second. Tigers up. They've only got 10 up on the board here. I think you've got 12 up on the board. I'm not exactly sure what it is. We'll just have to look at the score sheet afterwards, but they might have been told to stop putting them up. Georgia Southern ices the puck. And the face-off now will come in deep into the Georgia Southern zone. I'd like to give some special thanks to some folks who have really helped this team get up and running. Specifically, Professor Sky Arthur Banning, the faculty advisor for the team. Thank you, Sky, for stepping up and being the advisor for the team. Also, Darby Tippett from the Student Involvement Center for Student Leadership and Engagement, one of the longest titles I've ever seen. Really helped get this thing off the ground with Jenna when she started the team right from the get-go. So puck now down low. Molina now has it. Molina surveys. Molina up to Pettit. Pettit back down to Molina. Molina down to Yoder. Yoder behind the net. Yoder skates it out in front. Broken up by the Eagles. Yoder now handles. Yoder now goes down low to Lorino. Lorino in the slot to Molina. Quick shot and save by Georgia Southern. All right, sorry, I had to get a quick sip of water, folks. Face off down in the Georgia Southern zone. I'm going to try to shoot a little bit tighter on some of this if I can. We might lose them out of frame a little bit, but face off, down in the corner. Over to Watkins. Oh, Olivia Yoder. The Yoder goes in the box. That's where Yoder likes to hang out. Her good reffing friend, Mike Keira, is sending her in. So there's a little humor going on with this situation. Face off down low in the corner. Won by our Tigers. Pettit breaks out, hits Lorino in stride. Lorino looks up. Lorino now. Good defense by the Georgia Southern as the Clemson Tigers are on the penalty kill. Lorino now, she's making that goalie work. Post to post, post to post every time she goes around. Watkins now with the puck. Watkins surveys, gives it back. Catch and release to Lorino. Watkins with the shot. Strides through Pettit. Over to Hudson. Hudson now fires one. Watkins gathers. Watkins in the corner. Watkins to Lorino. Lorino's just going to fire one. Trying for Pettit to get a pretty tip goal. Good work by our Tigers down low here as they battle. Oh, goalie just hacks Pettit. It's kind of an uncalled for. Player was kind of fell down behind the goalie, and the goalie just did a big old lumberjack job on the back of her legs. Looks like everyone's okay, but someone's going to have to serve a penalty for that one. Oh boy. Frustration setting in a little bit. All right, a little discussion with the refs, trying to figure out who goes on where, what they're doing here. I would think someone's serving. I don't really know what's going on, folks. Now the ref's having a conversation with the Georgia Southern coach. It looks like we have a 5-on-5, but there's two 5-on-4. Georgia Southern player comes off. But there's two Eagles in the box. So I would think someone would be serving for the goaltender, but I'm not quite sure what's going on. Puck now over to Pettit. Pettit down low. Caputo now battles in the corner. Caputo now. Caputo up to Watkins. Watkins brings it over to Caputo. So Georgia Southern has too many on the ice. So now they're going to assess a penalty for this? I don't know. Oh boy. Just some confusion. A lot of new players on the Georgia Southern team. A little confusion on what's happening. I don't know that the clock continues to roll here. And puck one back to Pettit. Pettit on the point. Pettit brings it across. Just kept in by Hudson. Hudson now fires one. Hudson to Lorino. Georgia Southern has a chance to ice it out, but they don't. They bring it right up to Lucy Hudson. Lucy now. Lucy gets down the slot. Lucy fires one. Good save by the goalie. Puck now. Caputo to Pettit. Pettit looks to wind up a little slap pass. And Georgia Southern does dump it out. I'll zoom out just a tad. Puck now behind Bella Quick. I believe Quick has not seen any rubber yet this game. But she's still looking sharp. So that's going to do it for two here. And I'm going to mute us for a second, play some music here, and get a drink of water here. Okay, welcome back, folks. For the start of the third period, it looks like we're going run clock by the sounds of it, and we are about to have the puck drop here. So back to play, back to action here. Puck goes back to the Tigers. Tigers now skate out with Melina. Melina's on the move. Melina now. Melina looking up. Melina drops it low to Larino. Larino back over to Melina. Melina over to Yoder. Yoder now. It looks like Yoder's okay from her spill earlier. Yoder with a little backhander on net and covered up by the goalie, but tipped in by Larino. So hits the goalie, bounces loose, and Larino is just sitting there to capitalize. So I believe that's 13-0 Tigers, although they've only put 10 up on the board here in the rink. Probably they don't want to go over that. But clock is running now. I guess we're doing a run clock third. Normally we have an ice cut between the second and third, but I think they opted out with just how out of hand this is, and they get to play again tomorrow morning, so maybe getting home early. Heck, I don't know. Coach Duba may end up skating her Tigers after this for a little bit of practice with the extra ice that they paid for. Pass back to Yoder. Yoder with a missile. Goalie was not even expecting that. A quick drop pass by Renton, and Yoder just winds up and boom, tags one right into the twine. Goalie was not expecting that, since the Tigers really haven't been shooting much for the last period, but I don't think Yoder could help herself there. So that was a hot shot by Yoder. I'll try to tilt down here a little bit. All right, puck one back to Georgia Southern, but then Larino gets there. Larino on the boards. Larino surveys, hits Melina. Melina could easily tuck that in. She's just not. Melina looking up. Melina's going to skate backwards and go back down in the corner to Larino. Larino surveys. Larino across the slot to Melina. Melina gets her stick checked right as the puck came through. Puck comes back up to Larino. Larino now looking back for Melina, who's standing in front. Melina now right in front. Little backhand shot into the shin pads of the Georgia Southern player. Loose puck. Yoder pounds at it, and Yoder still collects. Good work by the Georgia Southern goalie to keep that out. Puck now back up to Melina. Melina looks up. Melina's got that corner, and Melina's going to find that corner. So the Georgia Southern goalie is staying down, which opens up a lot of net up top. Melina almost took the water bottle right off there. But I could tell, I saw that happening with the goalie down like that, and Melina's eyes always up. She found that corner, and she just lit it up. So maybe the Tigers have, maybe Coach Duba has now let the Tigers know. I guess we go ahead and shoot. So I'd say we're at 15-0 maybe. Although they're not putting that score over 10-0 up in the rink. So Avery Pettit now, backed up the puck. Pettit now chips it up to, it's kind of a loose puck bouncing around. Puck down low in the corner. Pettit now. Pettit tries to hit Caputo. Stick check, but now Pettit will go for a nice leisure skate. A Sunday skate, as I call it. Looking up, shot blocked by the Georgia Southern player. Puck now loose. Regathered by Hudson. Hudson's now going to skate right down the slot. Hudson then recollects and goes back. Watkins now. Watkins to Caputo. Caputo now. Caputo shields. Good play to Hudson. Hudson finds Watkins on the back door. Over to, oh my gosh, back to Caputo. That was a beautiful setup play. Still loose puck in the crease. Watkins now at the puck. Wozniak. Wozniak back over to Pettit. Pettit's coming in. Pettit with a little slapper. Little slap pass, if you will, over to Wozniak. Wozniak tries to get it out. Georgia Southern does get it out, but veers, and they do get it out of the zone. So small victories for Georgia Southern to get it out of the zone against these Tigers. Puck back over to Caputo on the near boards. Caputo now in the corner. Kicks it with their skate, drops it back up to Hudson. Hudson skates around their wing and throws one on net. I believe we have Ava Carlson back in net for Georgia Southern. I'm not sure how they're doing their goalie rotations here. Maybe maybe the other goalie's in a little bit of hot water with the coaches from the slash chop deal earlier in her crease. 15:05 running clock in the third. Tigers up 15-0, I believe. So that plus minus the Tigers have coming in is only going to get bigger this weekend. Wozniak now. Wozniak surveys over to Hudson. Hudson back. And Georgia Southern now gets it across the blue. Hudson steps up and takes it though. Watkins now skates. Watkins moves. Watkins shields. Watkins going to set up behind the net. Finds Caputo right down the slot. Not picked up by Georgia Southern, and Caputo finishes it. I think the Tigers pretty much have it figured out that the current goalie in net for Georgia Southern is not standing up, staying down in the butterfly. And against some teams that might work, but it's not going to work against these Tigers. They can pick corners. So I believe we're at 16-0 now. Face off at center. Alyssa tries to bring it over to Bauer. Georgia Southern does win that race, and now it's in the corner, but Avery Pettit now collects. Pettit's now going to skate. Pettit now gets the puck stick poke checked off. Back down to Hudson. Hudson continues to hold the puck. Hudson's going to get the blue line. Down the boards goes Hudson. Hudson's going to throw one across. I don't know who she was looking for there. Maybe Fire of it. I don't know. That wasn't the most planned out thing. But Hudson skates off in the middle of a change. No, she doesn't, because Georgia Southern collects. Bella Dills Georgia Southern now with the puck. Bella now. Bella might get a shot off. She hurries up, and she does. Shot off. That's a Bella on Bella goal. So Bella Dill for Georgia Southern gets their first goal of the season off Bella Quick. I don't think Bella Quick was ready for that. She hasn't seen a shot all day. And then Bella Dill goes in. I know Bella Dill very well, as I have coached her in the past. So out of Columbia, but now goes to school down at the art school in Savannah and has joined this team. So good on you, Georgia Southern, for getting one in. Good on you, Bella Dill, for ripping the puck. And it's got to be hard for Bella Quick, who is just probably half asleep back there. It's the first rubber she's seen. So it looked like it hit her in the chest and just kind of went in. So Georgia Southern now on the board. So we have a 16-1 lead by the Tigers. Running clock 12:22 to go in the third. Puck comes back to Renton. Renton now. Renton surveys. Renton over to Butler. Puck chipped back up by Georgia Southern, but recoiled by Nina Molina. Puck comes right across to Yoder, and good save by the goalie. They've mixed some stuff up. I see Molina back on D. I think Butler just went in and Molina covered for her. Molina's very good about covering for her D when the D goes in. So if you are interested at all in getting some merch and helping this Clemson Tigers team out, Squad Locker, if you go to Squad Locker and search for Clemson Women's Hockey, they have a store on there. It's got like 30, 40, 50 items, I don't know, a bunch of items with our logo in different sizes, different designs. Place to go support your Tigers. Also a good place to get Christmas gifts. You know, that's coming right around the corner. Little brothers, little sisters, grandparents, they all need stuff with the Clemson Lady Ice Tigers on that. So hit up Squad Locker, look for Clemson Women's Hockey there, and all proceeds, or 15% of the proceeds that are done there, come back to this team to help support this team's growth and very expensive sport. Good save there by Ava Carlson for Georgia Southern. So with Christmas coming up, it's time to get on that Squad Locker store and order your merch. Cool stuff like this hat. That's one of the hats that you can get on the Squad Locker store. All right, so here we go. 10:37 running clock in the third. Georgia Southern now on the board with the goal. Clemson on the board with, I believe, 16. Yoder now. Yoder drops back up the boards to Larino. Larino tries to get it. Has to go around the referee. Larino surveys. Larino looks up. Molina now. Molina looking up. Molina surveys, looking. Coming around into the slot is Kate Hudson. Kate Butler. To Melina up front, and Melina finishes. So the Tigers are really working on setting up down low, moving the puck around, lulling the other team to sleep, and then sneaking someone right down the freeway, right down the low slot, high slot, and getting those shots off. So I believe we're 17-1 now. 9:43 to go. This Clemson Tigers team plays again tomorrow morning at 9:15 a.m. against this Georgia Southern team. It's pink at the rink to support breast cancer awareness, so there'll be a lot of pink going on. So come on out if you're in town to watch these girls play in person. Puck back to Pettit. Pettit now to Caputo. Caputo now. Caputo surveys. Comes right back across to Watkins, right down the middle. Watkins now gingerly throws one on net, and good save by Ava Carlson. And we hope to be live again tomorrow morning for tomorrow morning's game. I hope I have a voice left by that point. I'm sorry if the quality, I can't really tell how the quality of this feed is, but I've had to switch to cellular from Wi-Fi because the Wi-Fi wasn't good here. So I hope it's sufficient on the far end and not buffering like crazy. Watkins now, the puck. Watkins over to Hudson. Hudson now, down low on the near boards, back up to Watkins. Watkins now drops it to Hudson. Hudson with it. Georgia Southern now picks it off, and Georgia Southern now is going to throw it out, and that will be an icing. If you own a sports medicine practice, that icing could be sponsored by your practice. Every time the puck ices, you could be a sponsor for it. We have other sponsorships available too, other plans. You could be a jersey sponsor. Start thinking about next season already, getting on these jerseys, helping these ladies out. Next season, these ladies are likely to move up into ACHA W2 national bound, which would mean a busier schedule, a little bit more travel, and of course more expense. So they will need funding come next year, or more funding, hopefully. With only one senior on this team and one grad student, they looks to only lose 2 players moving into year 2, and that was Lucy Hudson with the finish there for the 18th goal of this bout. A little bit about Coach Duba, head coach behind the bench of the Tigers. Duba is from Connecticut originally, or grew up there, played for the Northern Lights, I believe, up there in ice hockey. Also played field hockey very competitively, and had to choose when she got to college. She ended up going to RPI and was a very high-level field hockey player in Division I, I believe, up there. Then she took a job here in the Greenville area and has been a huge asset to step up for this team. So we thank Coach Duba for her efforts with this great set of young ladies. Alessi now with the shot. Just misses high wide, and puck's now going to rim all the way out. Avery Pettit with the puck. Pettit surveys. Pettit's already got pink tape on her stick, so does Fire Ovid. I think they'll all have pink tape tomorrow for Breast Cancer Awareness Day. The pink at the rink. Pass right across to Abby Bauer up front. Bauer now. She's got Fire Ovid in the middle. Comes back up to Alessi. Alessi now skates. Fire Ovid's going to set up a screen or just stand there. And Alessi now picks the corner over Ava Carlson, the goaltender. 6:03 running clock here to go at the Pavilion. I believe we're at 18-1, folks. The College Hockey South has 15 girls teams. I have 14 or 15 teams now in it. As these teams build year after year, they get stronger, better. But the larger schools definitely have an advantage with the larger student bodies. So. To pick from. So while there's some teams that are much more in the development stage, there's other teams like our Tigers. Tigers year 1, amazingly enough, for playing like this, but that have already built a pretty sweet program. And as the word gets out that Clemson's got hockey for the ladies, more girls are going to come to this wonderful school and want to play hockey for the Lady Ice Tigers. And hopefully as that comes more funding and more sponsorships and such. Lucy Hudson now with the puck. Hudson brings it in. Good D there by the two. Oh, Hudson now goes into the boards, and we have a penalty. Hudson's now going to get tossed. Hudson's got a penalty through his shoulder. Georgia Southern player now down. Hopefully we don't have an injury here. Hopefully she's just tired and a little shooken up here. Hudson now. Hit the penalty. Okay, we have, looks like she's okay getting up gingerly. We do have a trainer here. The trainer is possibly coming in from the far side. During an injury, I'm not going to focus on that. While the coach goes and works with their athletic trainer now, walking in from the opposite corner of the rink. Georgia Southern player getting up. Sticks tapped. Looks like the trainer's going to work her way over to the Georgia Southern bench to make sure she's okay. I hope she's okay. I hear Lucy yelling she's sorry or someone's yelling she's sorry from the bench. And I'm not sure if that was provoked or what that was, but not needed with a 8-19-1 lead. So the Georgia Southern Eagles will go on the power play. Lucy Hudson in the sin bin. And it'll be a 5-on-4 for Georgia Southern. Good practice for the penalty kill for our Tigers as Melina now skates it around. Melina loses it for a second, regathers. Melina now on the near boards. Melina breaks it in. Melina now looks, surveys, sets up. Hope the Tigers will just kill some time here. Drops it back down to Lorino. Lorino back to Melina. Misfires on them. Oh, Georgia Southern just overskates it. Had a chance to get out of the zone, but did not. Melina now down low. Melina looks up. Melina with a whiffer, but regathers. Melina now down the boards. Melina cycles it back to Lorino. Lorino now skates. Georgia Southern collapses on Lorino. Good work by Georgia Southern keeping Lorino out. Picked up by Pettit. Pettit tries to drop back to Melina. Melina does keep it in. Pettit now down low. Lorino now on it. Lorino goes in pretty rough. Lorino gets rubbed off by the Georgia Southern player a little bit. Oh boy, we don't need this. Bananigans. But puck now comes out to Georgia Southern. Across to Olivia Yoder. Olivia Yoder now has time. She had to wait for Lorino to get back on side. Yoder now gingerly skates it in. I wouldn't say gingerly. Sunday strolls it in. Drops it back up the boards. Cycles it back to Lorino. Lorino now looking. Lorino with a shot. Off the goalie's glove. Hits the post and goes over the net. Georgia Southern now with the shot. On net. Bella Quick just covers it. A little bit about Bella Quick, the Tigers netminder. So when Jenna Fireoven and team were starting to try to get this team going, we did not have a goalie. And so no one came out even though we advertised 4-1. So Bella Quick said, hey, I want to play. I've never played goalie, but why not? So Bella got pads and got in. So Bella is really brand new to playing net, and without Bella, we would not have a Clemson Lady Ice Tigers team. So we've got something going on with the goalies down. We have a weird goalie injury situation now on the Georgia Southern side. I'm not quite sure what's going on. I don't know. Doesn't seem happy. Anyway, I'm not going to pan over to that, but that's what the holdup is. One Georgia Southern goalie in, one Georgia Southern goalie out. And we're back and rolling. 2:25 to go in this contest. Athena Renton now with the puck. Athena's now going to skate it down the near boards to pop into your frame right about now. Athena now. Athena looks up. Athena surveys. Back to herself off the boards. Georgia Southern starting to play a little chippier. I don't blame them. It gets frustrating when you're getting beat like this. Puck over to the Wozniak. Woz back to Renton down in the corner. Renton now looks up. Wozniak takes Renton's spot on the point. Butler surveys across. over to Wozniak. Wozniak over to Caputo. Caputo on the point. I think this is actually where Caputo's natural playing spot is on D. As they move some Tigers around, continue to move them around as the game goes on. Wozniak in the corner. Woz looks up, back behind the net to Renton. Renton now is going to find Caputo. Caputo, back up the boards to Renton. Renton now stops, looks, surveys, back up to Butler. Butler now on the puck. Butler down low. Catch and pass between Butler and Wozniak. Back to Watkins in the slot. Over, one touch passing now over to Renton. Renton into the feet of the Georgia Southern player. Regathers, a little crazy stickage, and the Tigers will regather. 1 minute to go, ticking off the clock. Over to Caputo. Caputo now. Caputo back up to Renton. Renton looks up. Renton now. Renton down low. Renton looks up. Back to Wozniak. 40 seconds to go in the bout. Puck back on over to Butler. Butler now takes it down low. Butler's going to chip. Look up. Butler across to Caputo. Over to Wozniak. And our Tigers continue to play a little catch. Ooh! Georgia Southern has a chance here. They have a 3-on-1, but you can't get by Athena Renton back there. Out of all the people to have back, oh, here's a chance. Kind of a loose, floppy mess. 6 seconds to go. Puck's just going to be gingerly dumped in. And 2-1, and there we go. That's all we have, folks, for our bout here with Clemson. So our Tigers will end game one of the two series with Georgia Southern with a 19-1 win. They play again at 9:15 in the morning, so please come back and join us for that, for Pink at the Rink. Until next time, I'm Matt, the broadcasting guy, and I hope everyone has a good evening.